out there in Facebook world. It is Sunday morning here at Sacred Shimmy Studio, and I wanted to check in with you this morning to have a quick chat about some different styles of belly dance. So, here at Sacred Shimmy Studio, we are a yoga, music, and belly dance studio, but we offer 3 different styles of belly dance. And we've got beginner classes starting in 2 of those styles of belly dance this week. But when you're a beginner, you don't know what the styles are. It can be really confusing. It's kind of like this record store that I used to go into when I was like 20, and I didn't know if I should be looking in dark techno or goth electronica or EDM. I just wanted to know where KMFDM was located. And if that's meaningful to you, great. And if it's not, then just forget about all of that, right? So the 3 styles of belly dance that we offer here at Sacred Shimmy Studio are Cabaret, American Tribal Style, and Tribal Fusion. And I want to start with Cabaret because if you think of a belly dancer, the image of a cabaret dancer is probably what's going to pop right into your head, right? So cabaret dancers are usually wearing a really sparkly bra. Cabaret dancers love sparkly stuff. Kalisa, who's one of the teachers here at Sacred Shimmy Studio, her big definition between cabaret and tribal is, are you wearing black dots if you're a tribal dancer, or are you wearing rhinestones if you're a cabaret dancer? So I don't think it's out of line to say that cabaret dancers like their sparkly stuff. So if you think of a dancer who's wearing a really sparkly bra and a really sparkly belt, and she has maybe a filmy kind of skirt on, although that's not mandatory, right? I'm going to make a lot of generalizations, but I'm just trying to paint a picture in your mind. If you think of dancers from Egyptian movies, right? Some of these famous dancers like Samia Gamal, Fifi Abdou, dancers that you may have seen, who are they are luxurious in their movement, they're smooth, they're fluid, and it's really musical, right? Cabaret dancers have a great ability to just lock into the sounds that they're hearing. So if the music is smooth and musical, smooth and lyrical, like if it has a flowing line, then a cabaret dancer might be walking around the stage with a veil behind her or something like that. Or if it's percussive, she might be stopping to drop her hip and show you that. So that's kind of what cabaret is, right? And I encourage anybody who's watching this or who watches it later, put your own comments about what you think these styles of dance are, because I feel that every style of art is a co-creation between all the people who are making it. So if you're a cabaret dancer, get in those comments and tell me, like, what should I be saying about cabaret? What do you tell your beginner students that helps them understand what cabaret is? One of the primary styles that I teach is tribal, sometimes called American Tribal Style or improvisational tribal. And one of the differences about tribal is that it's primarily designed to be a group dance, right? So cabaret dancers do occasionally dance together, but in general, if you're watching a belly dance show, most cabaret dancers are going to be performing as soloists, right? It's kind of the way the dance is being presented right now. Not a lot of group dances as cabaret dancers, a lot of solos. In tribal style, our dance is supposed to be a group dance, right? So we put groups on stage, 2, 3, 4, sometimes even larger numbers, where we are changing the lead a lot, changing the person who's in front, but always dancing together, staying in a group of dancing together. The costuming of tribal is very different than the costuming of a cabaret. We tend to wear a lot more clothes. Like, we have a lot more coverage. Our costumes are a lot heavier. So in a tribal style dance, you're going to see a pair of full pantaloons, right? Pantaloons that bell out and are gathered with elastic at the bottom. There's usually going to be a full skirt of some kind, 15 yards, 25 yards. I feel they get bigger all the time. We wear more of them all the time. A tribal dancer might have 2 skirts on when she's performing. And we tend to wear a belt that maybe has tassels coming off of it, or maybe is decorated with cowrie shells or old jewelry, like old Afghani jewelry or Coochie jewelry that has kind of a vintage from another country type of look, right? We sometimes wear bras, but if we are wearing bras, they tend to be, let's say, black and silver, or they might be embroidered. They're not going to be the glass beads or the real shiny rhinestones that you see on cabaret dancers. And we almost always wear our hair pulled up, right? So tribal dancers tend to go for what we sometimes call a hair garden, where you have a whole bunch of flowers and sticks and stuff. And that's partially so that we can use our heads to make cues and tell other dancers behind us what's going on. The movement of tribal belly dance tends to be a little bit different. The movements are simplified because we are dancing them as a group. So we're trying to do movements that match each other in a way that's really accurate. So because of that, we might do moves for a little bit longer, not switching them quite so often, and we keep the footwork really consistent all the time. In the middle of those two things, and I feel in some ways kind of gathering the best of both worlds, is tribal fusion, which is the third style of dance, third style of belly dance that we have here at Sacred Shimmy Studio. Tribal fusion kind of took the posture and look of tribal style belly dance and combined it with the musical responsiveness of cabaret belly dance. So tribal fusion dancers still look a little creepy usually, and I'm saying creepy in the best possible way. Like, as a woman who's super psyched that it's both the 13th and the full moon, just know that when I say creepy, it's a compliment, right? So tribal fusion dancers tend to be up in their posturing, but things are creepy and weird when they're doing them, right? It's otherworldly, you know, it looks like alien movement or predator movement, like that type of thing. Tribal fusion dancers wear costumes that are often more similar to cabaret dancers, with a lot more skin showing, a lot lighter weight costume, but it still usually has kind of the earthy elements that an ATS costume has. So those are kind of the three styles that we're getting into. We've got cabaret dancers, and that happens on Monday nights at 8:15. And one reason I wanted to talk about it this week is because they're starting a new series this Monday that's called Belly Dance 101. So it's a perfect place for you to show up and get in here if you're like, I don't know what to do and I'm not sure about if I like belly dance or not. Come to Belly Dance 101, you can find out. It's also a great place for established dancers to come back and revisit their technique. That's one thing that as dancers we always need to be refining, is coming back to our basics, making sure we're doing things the way we want to do them, making sure it looks the way that we want it to look. So Monday night, starting tomorrow at 8:15 p.m. tomorrow night at the studio, Belly Dance 101 with our incredible teachers, Kalisa and Athena, who've been holding down the cabaret program here. Wednesday night, an ongoing class, 6 p.m. is Tribal Fusion. We're working on a really cool choreography in that one. 7 p.m. this week, our new series in tribal style starts, which is called Slow Fundamentals. So it gives you a chance to hang out and study those really beautiful, really luxurious, slow movements that really, I feel, define in a lot of ways what tribal belly dance is and, you know, why we love it so much. Okay. So that's my talk about the three styles of dance that we have here at the studio. And then the last thing I wanted to get in with you today is we have been planning super hard about what we want to do in 2020. So I'm really excited because when I opened the studio, I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't know if I was going to like doing it. So I kind of just said I'd do it for a year and see what happened. And it turns out I love doing it and it's super exciting. So now we're planning all the way into, we've got stuff on the agenda right now, all the way through October of 2020. So a full 12 months from now. So I'm about to drop a big announcement. I'm gonna lay it on you on Halloween because I'm a spooky Halloween lady like that. So I want you to stay tuned on Halloween for a big announcement about the first special guest that we're gonna have at Sacred Shimmy Studio in 2020. And I'm not gonna give you a lot of hints about her right now, so that's one hint. We know she's a female identifying person. But I will tell you that she is an incredible dancer who fits into that third category of dancers that I talked about. So those are the two things that you get to know right now. You know that she's a female identifying person and that she's an incredible tribal fusion dancer. And I'm just gonna leave you with that and let you spend like the next 17 days just thinking like, OMG, who is she and what is going to happen? But I'm super psyched about it, and I think you will be too. So like I said, if you have comments about various styles of belly dance, if you want to add your own thoughts, I would love to have that discussion with you so that we can all get closer to what the definitions of this stuff is. Other than that, I hope to see you in the studio soon. Bye.